CBDCs will end your freedom. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how they work, the hidden dangers behind them, and why they could be used to control you. Now, before we dive in, we need to understand the key difference between central bank money and commercial bank money. Now, central bank money is issued directly by the Bank of England or your local central bank. And the only way we can access it is through physical cash, through physical paper or coins. Now, commercial bank money, this is money we see in our bank accounts. Now, once you deposit cash in the bank, it no longer is central bank money and it just becomes a number on your screen. Essentially, it's a promise from the bank. Now, the key difference between the two is central bank money is 100% backed by the central bank. So in this example, with the Bank of England, while commercial bank money is only backed by your bank's promise to pay you that. Now, let's get into the 6 major ways CBDCs will change everything and not for the better. 100% backed digital money. Right now, if your bank collapses, your money is protected up to £85,000 under the FSCS scheme. Anything above that is gone. But with CBDCs, every pound you owned would be fully backed by the Bank of England. So there's no more worrying about bank runs or a financial crisis because in theory, your money would always be safe. Now, sounds great, right? Not really, because if all the money is backed by the central bank, then there's no need for the commercial banks as we know them today. And that brings us to our next point, the end of high street banks. You see, CBDCs would let you hold money directly with the Bank of England. So there's no more need for a commercial bank to access your digital money. You'd simply use a central bank app. Now, over time, most people would likely switch, especially if the Bank of England offered loans or mortgages directly with unbeatable interest rates. So what's the result? Commercial banks wouldn't be able to compete. They'd shrink, close, or simply disappear. And with fewer banks, the government gains even more control over your money. And if you look at our current situation, it's happening right now. How many high street banks were there before COVID compared to now? Universal basic income. Now imagine a world where everyone gets a fixed monthly payment just for existing. Now this idea is called UBI. Now it isn't science fiction, it's already been tested in the UK. In 2022, they gave around 600 people £1,600 a month for 2 full years to study how it impacted their lives. Now by 2030, AI will handle most mundane jobs and robotic AI could even replace physical labor. Now when millions are left unemployed, the government will need to push for a UBI solution. But where does this free money come from? Now traditionally, governments need tax revenue to give people money. But with CBDCs, they can simply create and distribute digital money at scale. Now this may sound like a good thing, but remember, when someone controls your money, they control you. Recession prevention or government control. Now today, during recessions, governments use strategies like lowering interest rates to encourage borrowing, funding projects like the COVID bounce back loan where they gave £50,000 interest free for 12 months. This was for businesses, or incentivizing the normal people by spending their money using the Eat Out to Help Out scheme where they gave 50% off all meals. But notice something, the help always comes through companies, not as direct cash. Now with CBDCs, that will change. The government could literally deposit money straight into every citizen's account to prevent the recession from taking place. So what's the catch? Well, if they can give money, they can also take it away just as easily. Then we have total financial surveillance. Now with CBDCs, it will be built on distributed ledger technology, meaning every transaction will be tracked in real time. So that means the government will know who you paid, what you bought, and where you spend it. But it doesn't stop there. CBDCs could be programmed with restrictions. Now the money could have an expiration date, forcing you to spend it within a set time or you lose it. Spending could be restricted. For example, UBI funds might only work for essentials like food and rent, and certain behaviors could result in limited access to your money. So think of it like a social credit system. Now once every transaction is monitored, your financial freedom is gone. Negative interest rates and the death of cash. Imagine borrowing £1,000 and only needing to pay £900. That sounds great, right? That's negative interest rates, where the banks pay you to borrow. But here's the downside. You'd also pay to keep money in the bank. Now, instead of earning interest, your account balance could shrink over time. So then why not just take the cash at the bank, right? But what if cash no longer exists? Currently, only 8% of global money is physical cash. The rest is digital. Now, CBDCs would only accelerate the elimination of cash completely. Now, history is repeating itself. Gold used to be used as real money until governments banned it and forced people onto paper currency. Could the same happen to cash? Absolutely, and we're heading in that direction, and it will happen in our lifetime. So why are governments really pushing CBDCs? Well, cryptocurrency threatens traditional banking. Now with CBDCs, they can centralize that control before decentralized alternatives take over. Now it could be a stepping stone to a global digital currency. That sounds like a conspiracy, right? Well, think practically. People won't accept a global currency overnight. First, they need to make crypto style money normalized through CBDCs, something that we're familiar with, like a digital pound or a digital euro or digital dollar. Then they phase out the cash aspect entirely, giving us just the CBDC, the crypto money that we're familiar with. And once everyone is used to digital money, they introduce a global standard, by then which resistance is impossible. And again, this is not something new, this is something they're literally talking about publicly. So no cash equals no freedom. Now, if CBDCs replace cash, your financial freedom depends entirely on the system. The banks can freeze your accounts, the governments can control, track, and limit your spending. No cash means no alternatives. Now, if your bank account is closed, that means you're locked out of society. It's not just about money, it's about freedom. And that's why CBDCs are dangerous. So what's the solution? There isn't one. If there's one thing we've learned from history, is we cannot take on the banking system. So if you can't beat them, join them. Now, as we move into this digital age, so will all the money, creating the opportunities we see today in the crypto market. And this will only increase. As of today, 6.8% of people own crypto, with 62% owning stocks. Now, in our lifetime, we will see the ownership of crypto exceed the ownership of stocks. And when that happens, there is no telling how many trillions the crypto market will be worth. That's it for today. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments.